Hello, gentlemen. Hey, it's Friday, and I just want to do a quick video just to give you an update of the past week. Progress has been good. I got a lot of the tags, a lot of the ladder diagram wrapped up. Screens are talking to the PLC and vice versa. So yeah, it's actually been very good. Um, I just wanted to point out some of the hardware pieces. This black box, that is the HMI. That's the controller of the video and the mouse. So when we are clicking through different screens, the mouse and video are actually talking to that box. This is the PLC, and specifically, there are 3 output cards. Each card has 16 ports. These first 2 output cards will be talking to the simplex system. The simplex system is then talking to the sirens that are out in the field. This last output card is going to be talking to the business network. The first 4 ports will have a binary BCD code, binary coded decimal code, that will pass into a barracks 50 box. And that will tell the business network, and specifically it'll tell Informacast what we're doing. So it can send messages out to the phones, to the overhead paging system, and to the desktop computers with messages on what's going on. With the tags communicating, you will see lights on the PLC actually illuminating, and those lights are indicating an active output. So these terminal strips will be connected to relays, and those relays will be connected to the simplex system, to the barracks 50 box. The simplex system will perform delivery of the messages, and then of course we have 10 boxes out in the field in the plant. And each of those 10 boxes has 3 relays, one for fire, one for Alice codes, and one for weather. So in effect, we are controlling 30 devices, 3 tones in each of 10 boxes. So that's the hardware. Let me talk about the software and what the screens look like. This is kind of the welcome screen. This is actually a button that can be used to enter the system. Now there are passwords, security codes that can be turned on later. For right now, for this demonstration, everything's turned off. And the timestamp is the lower right corner, and that's something that will carry through all of the different screens. So let's go into the system. As soon as you enter the system, this is the general alarm screen. We can send out a fire alarm, an Alice, or a weather alarm. There's a maintenance screen that we can go into, and that's for troubleshooting purposes. If we get reports of a siren not working, we can zero in on that one specific thing. But that's this green bar across the top is kind of a standard header, and it's always active so that you can go back one screen. So that's kind of the backup button. Across the bottom, we have a standard footer, and the top row is for navigation. So you can click home screen, the alarm screen. You can pick a building for a fire code, or you can pick a maintenance screen for troubleshooting purposes. This last field is just an indicator so that if we do have an active alarm, that'll flash. These first 4 buttons are basically just reset buttons. So if we have a fire code active, we can click here to reset it. If there's an Alice code, we can reset here. Same with the weather. And if we are troubleshooting, and if we're in the maintenance screen and we have all kinds of stuff going on, we can just hit this button and it'll just reset everything. Let me show you the screen. So on the fire alert, if we have a fire, and let's say we have a fire in the ICC building, which is now the Warren, we would click fire. Brings us to a second screen. Notice we have the same footer and we have the same header, so that we can always go back. So let's go into the fire, and we would find the Warren building. There it is. So at this point, the siren is actually active, and you can see that light will flash red. And you can see down here in the lower right corner, we actually have these indicator flashing red. Let me jump forward and we will take a look at the maintenance screen. Now the maintenance screen has 10 columns representing our 10 cabinets, and we have 3 rows representing the fire, the LS, and the weather. And you can see that our Warren building has a fire code that's active. Using this navigation across the bottom, we can go back to the building screen, and indeed we have a fire in the Warren. We can go back to the alarm screen, and these buttons are still active. However, there's no real indication up here that we have an alarm. If you look in the footer, there again we have the active alarm. If we go all the way out of the system, all the way back to the home screen, that's the indication that we may be out of the Materion emergency siren system, but we still have an active alarm. So let's go back in, and I'll go back to the building fire screen. And again, you can click here. These are toggle buttons, so you can click a fire code off or back on. If it's on, you can also come back down here and click reset, and it resets all the fire codes. So if we have a fire in Warren, maybe one in extrusion, and maybe the Z mill, you can click each one or come down here and you can clear them all. With all that being said, let's take a look at the maintenance screen. Now this is a screen that typically we will use just for troubleshooting, but a good demonstration is I'll just click some random alarms. So at this point we have 2 fires, one in strip, one in build prep. We have an Alice condition, but in this particular case it's only in 3 buildings. And for whatever testing purposes, we're just testing weather in 2. But this is a good example of columns indicating buildings and rows indicating the specific alarm. If we're done testing and I want to clear the Alice out, I can click here and just the alarms in that row cleared out. I can click here, take out all the fire codes, and then if we're done, just click them all to be done. So all in all, very good system. Let me go back to Alice for a moment. If you've been watching the PLC through the demonstration, you can see the different codes that are coming up. And I want to point out, this is a binary code. So that's a 1-bit, 2-bit, 8-bit. So that's a decimal 11 code. So the Informacast right now, based on number 11, it would be sending out an Alice alert. So the overhead page, the voice over IP phones, and the desktop computer would be going. And you can see the alarms are also active every third going out for the Alice. So let me clear all that. Let me go into the maintenance screen, and I just want to turn on like a fire code for the Materion. If you look real close, there's only one light that's active. That represents a relay that's being active, going into the simplex, going into the Materion building, and the fire siren's activated right now. So all in all, very good. Again, if I turn on the fire code, if we go all the way up to the home screen, there's our indicator that we still have something going on. So let me go back into the system, and I'm just going to clear all the alarms. So everything's reset. So all in all, very good week. The tags are communicating very well. This is the high-speed network connection, so we're actually speaking at 10 megabits per second. That's indicated by the orange light. But these are slow, old ports. But relatively speaking, they still communicate very fast. There is a data logging option on the HMI, so we can track when buttons are pushed. Those actions are recorded on a SD card, and that SD card will actually reside right here in the SD slot that's in the HMI. So very good. This video is almost 10 minutes long, so it's kind of a long thing, but let me wrap it up. I'm scheduled to return on September 21st. So at that point, we will probably have some more get-togethers and some more discussions, and we'll talk about changes and features and alterations and security and all that fun stuff. But for now, let me wrap that up, and thanks for your time.